Okay, so what's the difference between data science and data analytics? The answer is not much, but there are some key differences that we're going to cover in this video. One thing I need to emphasize right off the bat is I'm not talking about the difference between a data analyst and a data scientist. Unfortunately, there's not a black and white line saying data analysts only do data analytics and data scientists only do data science. It's a lot more fuzzy than that. You can sort of think of it like that if you want, but it's a big oversimplification. Just remember that titles are dumb in the data world. At the end of the day, both data analytics and data science can be trimmed down to this: using data to make better decisions. And a lot of the times people are going to say data analytics and they really mean data science, or they're going to see data science and they really mean data analytics. There is one big difference though, and that is that often data analytics focused on what happened in the past, while data science also includes what will happen in the future. So for example, looking at what cereal sold best in the store last month, that would be data analytics. Predicting what cereals might sell better in the future, that's data science. And a fancier, more correct way to say all of this is I'm really talking about the difference between descriptive analytics and predictive analytics. And those names are helpful here, so let's get into it. Descriptive analytics is what happened. It statistically looks at historical data sets and gives us a numerical understanding of what happened. Predictive analytics, well, it predicts stuff. It uses data to create a model to predict what might happen in the future. But then we also have diagnostic and prescriptive analytics as well, and those aren't nearly as straightforward. Diagnostic analytics basically takes things a little bit further from descriptive analytics. It tries to ask, why did this happen? This means you're looking for explainability here. What happened, happened. And then prescriptive analytics is about, once we have the prediction, what can we do with that prediction? How can we create a favorable outcome with the model we've created? What steps can we take? And I know this can be pretty confusing, so let's talk about a more concrete example. Let's say we work for a book company. Descriptive analytics would basically tell us that, there's 127 copies of this book that sold in January and 189 that sold in February. That's what happened in the past. It's in the past, nothing in the future. Diagnostic analytics would tell us maybe why we sold more books in February than we did in January. And maybe that's because we did a big Valentine's Day sale, or we had more website traffic that month. Some sort of reason for what happened, some sort of explainability here. Predictive analytics, on the other hand, would predict how many books we're likely to sell next month or 6 months from now. And then finally, prescriptive analytics would give us recommended action steps that we can take to maximize book sales based off the models and data analysis we've done. Does that make sense? So let's dive back into what a data analyst would do in this book scenario. A data analyst would surely be ready to handle the descriptive analytics. This might take form in some sort of a pivot table in Excel or a line chart in Tableau. There's actually lots of different ways you could do this. And a data analyst could also do the diagnostic analytics as well. Maybe that includes creating a scatter plot between web traffic and book copy sales in Power BI, or maybe it's a heat map table made in Excel or something like that. Now, would a data analyst create the model to predict the number of books we'd sell in the future? This is where things get a little bit interesting. The answer is maybe not. Lots of analysts never touch any sort of predictive modeling in their careers at all, but a lot do as well. So it's really hard to say. And a lot of the times, this is where the task would be handed off to a data scientist. Data scientists, their jobs is to make models. This is what they're best at. So you could do something as simple as linear regression in Excel, or you could do more of a time forecasting model like ARIMA in R, or something way complicated like a neural net in Python. The majority of the time, these tasks are going to be better handled by a data scientist. It's what they do. They create the models. And then finally, with prescriptive analytics, it's a gray area again, but most of the time, a data scientist is probably going to do a little bit better job, a little bit more well-equipped to handle it, but a data analyst could take a stab at it as well. So back to the original question. What's the difference between data analytics and data science? Not much. Basically, predictive modeling. That's it. Now, if you go Google this question, you're going to get all these crazy long blog articles from all these different universities trying to get you in their master's program. And it has all this technical jargon and they say all this stuff. It's going to try to scare you, but don't let it scare you. The cool thing is the difference between data science and data analytics, it's pretty fluid. And if you start in data analytics, you can always add data science later on. It's not a big deal. In fact, it's kind of a natural progression. So don't stress about it. Just get inside the data world one way or another. Getting your foot in the data door, getting any sort of data job is the right step in this case. And then you can always adjust from there, because after all, you're always going to know the most once you're actually on the job. So that's it. Hopefully you understand the difference between data science and data analytics. And if you enjoyed this video, I think you'll enjoy this one next.